Hi, this video is to talk about the relationship between sample size and sampling distribution. We are discussing the sampling distribution of the sample mean, and one important concept here is that the bigger the sample size, the less error we have in our standard deviation. Okay, so suppose we select a simple random sample of 100 employees instead of 30 originally employees considered in the problem of EAI employee data from the previous videos. So our expected sample mean is going to be the same amount regardless of the sample size. So what this is saying is that sample size doesn't change the sample mean, okay? But the sample size changes the standard deviation of the mean. Okay, why? Standard deviation of the sample mean. Why? Because the sample size is considered in the formula of the standard deviation of the sample mean. So the bigger this number, the smaller the resulting number. Okay, so remember that we had 30 employees. Let me show you. Here we have 4,000 is the standard deviation of the population and 30 is the sample size. So when we divide 4,000 by square root of 30, we get 730 as the standard deviation of the sample mean. But now if we divide by 100, 44,000 by square root of 100 is a standard deviation of 400, which is smaller than 730. Okay, so whenever the sample size is increased, the standard error of the sample mean is decreased. That's a big takeaway, and that's very important. Imagine you were working for a company and you want to obtain a very good estimate of how much, let's say, sales vary or customer satisfaction vary and so on. Then you're going to be using this formula, and the bigger the sample size, the smaller the standard deviation of the sample mean, so less variability in the sample mean. Okay, this is what is like showing to you. The black distribution has a sample size of 30 employees. Look how the blue distribution is much like concentrated around the mean and has less variability because we have a bigger sample size, which gives us more confidence that the sample mean is correct. Okay, just to show you in a different way, recall we worked in this problem in the previous video. So when we have a sample size of 30 employees, the probability that the sample mean will be within 500 of the population mean is 0.5034. If we follow the same steps but with a sample size of 100, now the probability is much bigger. So you see the probability increased from 0.50 to 0.78 just by increasing the sample size. So the bigger the sample size, the higher probability you have of being close to the population mean. That's a big takeaway from this chapter. Okay, and also I strongly advise you to go to MindTap under chapter 7 and you have here like the point estimation. You have some videos to work if you want in order to practice. You have the sampling distribution of the sample mean, and here you have if you click here, it take you to this menu, and then you can go over the text, the book, and the methods and applications, and there are problems, and the problems are very similar to the problems we worked on. Like, what is the probability that a simple random sample of 50 unemployed individuals will provide a sample mean within 1 week of the population mean, and so on. Okay, so you can come here and practice more. You have the homework assignment, okay, and you have other like tools here to help you.